Alrighty, I have started the recording. Welcome to session 40. Because Halloween is tomorrow, I was thinking it should be a special spooky session, but then I realized that that would not have any context to any future viewing of it because it won't necessarily be Halloween on future viewing. So we're just going to have a regular session. But feel free to imagine that it's spooky.
Yeah. Also, I think about it, like if we go in exactly enough time, if we end on 42, then we'll be on the meaning of the universe.
Indeed. Although, remember that even though this is session 40, it's actually the 41st session because there was a session 0.
Okay, so we have to definitely finish by next session.
Speaking of which, so we did have a previous session, which Ed was not around for, and in that previous session they did a lot of preparation work. Amongst that preparation work was that everybody who was capable of it learned the spell Message, a first circle spell, or Whisper, sorry, a first circle spell that sends a message to a person of your choosing. And given that you have a magical person, of course, they're a sonomancer, but the rest of the team spent a lot of time doing research. So I'm going to say that there was time for Mari to have invented some device that can do the message spell, if you would like to.
Okay. Message is a pretty straightforward sonomancy spell.
Yeah. It's literally sending sound. It's like the most straightforward of the sonomancy spells. Okay. Yeah, the activity log is no longer relevant. We're not doing that stuff. But you may find that the initiative order document is quite relevant. This is... using a formula of some of your stats, I've determined the order in which initiative will happen. If you want, I can tell you what the pattern is. I know some people were trying to guess at it last time. Viv?
Go ahead. I think I got close, but it was something like agility plus like some other shit.
It's agility plus cunning plus the reactive one for being aware of your surroundings.
Notice.
Nah, that's the one, notice, yes. And that's why Shari has the highest rating on this list, is because Shari specifically has a bonus to notice that's extreme. Imagine, if you can, and you can, you're all smart people. Imagine a city. The sun is just barely rising, and the city, which is normally so full of bustling activity, is silent. It's still. People throughout the city are trapped, mostly in their beds, but wherever they happened to be at 3 a.m., which in a city like this means not everybody was in their beds. But wherever they happened to be, they fell to the ground into a deep slumber, but they do seem to be twitching slightly with pain. And all around the city, strange things are occurring. Although, in one particular house, there are no people in slumber. In one particular house, all of the children were spared by magical bracelets they were wearing, and they managed to get their adults to safety at the university. But even in that particular house, some things have gone missing from the kitchen. An old sponge, so old that it turned gray as a stone, is no longer sitting next to the sink. Knives are missing from the kitchen drawers. And outside, shingles are missing from the roof, and cobblestones from the walkway. bits of the city have gone elsewhere and started forming into strange golem-like structures gathered together from city parts. The party has encountered one such creature, but more seem to be forming, and one in particular seems to be battling Violathan outside the palace. It is a gigantic creature the size of a building. Also, through some of your very clever uses of your abilities, you figured out that there is a similar creature in the shape of a serpent, made out of old stones from the sunken previous version of the city, from before a great cataclysm sank it into the sea. It swims in the harbor, curling up and nestling on top of a volcanic vent. Other creatures, making themselves out of lighter materials, fashion together wings out of the flaps and canvases of tents and awnings from the markets and restaurants of the city. And they've taken to the air, circling the great signal tower over the Crimson Barracks garrison. So much is happening. Much is going on. There's even rumors that Petrish have arrived at the rail yard. What they're suffering from this curse, none have yet discovered. You've chosen your teams of 3. I'm just going to go over those real quickly to make sure that nobody wants to change their mind. So you've decided that of the 4, the 3 are going to go to, because you only want to take out 3 of these, whatever these artifacts are that are powering the spell. The 3 that you've chosen are to go to the rail yard to look for an artifact using the element of lightning. And that group, it would be Nest, Anre, Reggie, Chryslisar, Bax, and Kyleel. The premise being that you want strategically the people who are best at negotiating to try and turn the Petrish into allies, since from their perspective the city will probably seem to be attacking them. Heading out to the element of radiance, which is atop the great tower over the Crimson Barracks, Araxi, Zara, Kofrik, Mari, Elros, and Laika. Elros riding on Gallista's back in a little makeshift saddle they converted out of a backpack, with Laika there to empower Gallista. This group anticipates the heaviest combat. And lastly, a very brave group consisting of Wampy, Trompy, Francis, Mina, Shari, and Glup are heading to the waters to try to deal with this Leviathan of stone. Does this sound right to everyone? Any changes you wanted to make? Yes, there is. Well, there's steam on the water, yeah.
That all sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sounds all good to me.
Excellent. You might be wondering which of these 3 we're going to handle first, and the answer is all of them, because you have very specifically the ability to communicate, to share information and strategy as you encounter things. But I will ask which group wants to go first.
I almost want to say the Yellow Submarine.
I was going to say the water group might be doing a swing by some other places before we go out onto the water, whereas the others are kind of going direct to their destination, so it would make sense to start with them first.
Okay. Something of note, you're definitely going to encounter creatures along your travels. The more destinations you stop at before you go to your actual mission, the more of these encounters you will have to deal with. So, yeah, let's take the water group out. Wampy, Trumpy, Francis, Mina, Shari, Glup. Bolting out of the front door of the university, you guys begin heading towards your destination. What is your first destination for this group?
If I'm not mistaken, the last time we talked about raiding the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild for more marbles, but to shoot the cannons.
That makes
Was
sense
that
to me.
still the plan?
Yeah, I think so. And perhaps maybe they have some kind of pretext stuff that might work underwater that we might be able to borrow for the namesake of the city.
Awesome. So you guys set off a little bit before the other group. The other groups do.
I also would like Whoppy to be in Falcon form for now, just to keep a better eye out for any enemies along the route.
Then in that case, Wompy is certainly the first to spot oncoming trouble. As in every direction that you can see now, creatures are coming together in the streets. Not coming together as in many of them gathering to groups, but as in physically, like, objects are rolling onto the streets of their own volition and forming into these creatures. And up ahead, you see a creature take wing, flying up into the air, and then a second behind it. They're heading towards you, Wompy. They see you, and they are coming for you. On the streets below, another one without wings has formed and is heading towards the rest of your party.
Sorry, I think I missed the part about what's the streets below.
There is an additional third golem formed on the streets below. It does not have wings, so it can't get at you, but it is heading at your party.
Whoppy will let out the falcon screech of warning that they all agreed on beforehand. What does the falcon sound like? I don't know that off the top of my head.
I am not a good enough animal impressionist to control my voice to make the noise. I'm hearing it in my head from all the times I've played an Assassin's Creed game. I guess that was an eagle, wasn't it?
It was an eagle.
Then I have no idea what they sound like. You make the quack of a falcon.
It goes roughly, based off the brief YouTube video I just looked up.
Awesome.
And Whoppy's basically going to dive to avoid air combat.
All right, are you diving towards your party?
Not like into them, because that feels like a thing, but like in front of them roughly. How far away are they from the third golem that's like forming still?
It is coming up on them. It's finished forming and is coming up on them. We're going to enter into initiative. I just need to know if you're near your party or off on your own.
I am somewhat near them. I'm like, I'll say that I'm like just above them as this, having just finished my dive.
Yeah, because you said there was a second one that was flying, right?
Yes, there's two of them that were flying after. So those are coming down. All right, so let's go into the initiative order. I believe Shari is the fastest to act in this group. Shari, you hear the call. You see that Wompy is diving down and will land near the party, but not directly on them. Pursued by two twisted golems. They look like poorly made puppets of like pipes and sticks. With great pieces of sailcloth that have been wrapped into the form of wings. And they're diving like a tragic child's kite that's falling out of the sky. You can spot there is some difference between them. One of them you see the glint of light off of pieces of glass and sharp nails that have been embedded into its claws. On the other, you see there's something smoking, and it looks like it may actually have like a small wick, as though it's got some explosive powder in it. Like maybe it accidentally formed out of a like a powder keg barrel or something near that, and it has some manner of fieriness to it that is probably not going to go well for anyone that gets hit by it. I am realizing that I, long ago, should have reorganized your stuff on my screen. I'm going to fix that. Okay, it looks like both Shari and Wampy are going to get a chance to go before these creatures do. Wampy is surprisingly quick. Shari, what would you like to do?
I'm unsure. I mean, I'm not exactly a combat person, so...
True, your expertise is definitely more leadership kind of stuff and piloting, which is absolutely why you're good for this team when they get to the water. But at the moment, they need to get you through safely. Would you like to try to hide? Or do you want to try to do some leadership stuff?
I mean, I'm not good at hiding either. Crap at that. I'm going to try and run past. And just kind of...
Okay. There is ahead of you on the road. There is a golem. It's not of the flying type, but it does appear to have a large like smithing hammer for its right hand.
Can I athletics and just like slide through his legs?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You'll be rolling against its dice, but you're not rolling to take damage. You're just rolling to beat it to get past it.
Do I get pips for my swashbuckling captain now?
I'm going to say yes.
How many pips are those things worth?
I don't remember.
I'll just say 3. 3 seems reasonable.
Let's see. That's so this is not an attack. It's not hurting you, but it does catch you and toss you back as you're unable to dash past it.
Okay.
So you try to go past it on the side in which it doesn't have the hammer hand. So instead of swinging the hammer, it just reaches out with a hand made out of bits of gravel and wood, and it tosses you back into the rest of your party, but now begins charging. Wampy, you also get a turn before creatures go.
Alright. Even a dive bomb from the sky doesn't feel like I would do great with it.
Unless you turned back into a person with a hammer on the way down.
I think you turned your hammer into a staff, but a staff would also be affected.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I think coming at Falcon's speed, essentially, going to leave the Falcon's speed and hopefully swing with my staff at the one that's on the ground and
Okay.
land with it.
Awesome. This is definitely a melee.
Yeah.
Seems like a vigor plus melee, maybe?
I feel like I have
I think you can add your druidic dice. I think.
my staff.
What's that?
Do I get pips for my staff?
Yes. Staff is the weapon
Okay.
you're using. You get pips from your staff, and because you're using your wild shape in this, I'm going to suggest that your druidic dice should also be added to the roll. Very nice. As your weapon comes crashing down onto the golem, you do realize rather quickly that this golem is made out of very solid things. But it is not impervious. It does, however, have a hardened feature in which the first 4 successes don't count. So you do 2 damage to it. This may be useful information for you to message to other teams if you'd like them to have access to it. But we'll see. You may learn many other things in this initial encounter. All right. See, Shari and Wampy both having gone. Next up is... oh, yeah. The one that's smoking. Well, unable to dive at... yeah. So you dove into the golem with your attack. So you're now kind of there in the mix. It was coming after you initially, so it's seen you attack its other golem. It's definitely going to come for you.
Kind of hoping it would still dive at me and just crash into the other golem. I think that was optimistic.
Optimistic, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh. These aerial ones are not as strong as their brethren. Okay, well, it dives in. It does have a feature, so it does not fully explode, which is nice, but it does burn you, causing brutal damage. So the damage is, instead of being a condition, it is a consequence, but it is doubled. So you have 2 points that you can distribute wherever you want. As the fires from within its burning portions that were unfortunately gathered into it in its hasty and unplanned construction erupt in little spouts of sparks that burn. You have a feeling that if it gets too many successes, it might destroy itself. But, yeah. Okay. Next up, we have... Glup.
All right, let's see here. So the burning one is currently, there's still 2 flying. They're still flying around, right?
Well, one of them flew down and attacked Wampy, so it's basically at ground level right now. There's another one that's on its way down from the sky, if you want to shoot something that's in the air.
Oh, I was hoping more to use the, since using the walls and stuff, and basically hop onto its back to be able to either cut its wing or cause it to change its course with great acrobatic skills and such. So maybe potentially crashes into the fiery one or the other one.
That is awesome. Do you have a feat that lets you jump really, really high, right?
I do not have that feat. That would be the other Anu that has the high jumping feat.
All Anu have high jump.
Oh yeah,
I'm allowed to be flying.
Yeah, I do have that one. Yeah, grasshopper.
Good. Yeah. If you spend your required tax to trigger Grasshopper, then you don't even need to roll for it. You can reach up into the sky and make your attack.
So let's see, what are we doing? I know it's going to be agility based.
Are you attacking with a weapon?
Oh, I'm not attacking with weapon. I was just trying to like get onto its wings so I can navigate it itself.
All right, so that would be unarmed plus agility. Yeah. Very nice. The flying ones are not as sturdy as the ones on the ground. They have to be made of lighter material in order to fly. They do have some structural stability, so the first 2 points are ignored, but you do a point of damage to it, disrupting it in some small way. Probably ripping into its the sailcloth that is its wing. Alrighty, next up, the Iron Fist Golem, which can see that although it was just attacked by Whompy, Whompy is a little bit busy. It wants to go after Shari that tried to run past it. So, Shari, it is going to make an attack against you. So this is 3 points of tax, but this is also a heavy attack. So if these 3 points of damage actually go to your damage, if they're not mitigated by something that narratively means you avoided it, then it will actually deal 4. But if you're taxing something in order to mitigate it, for the purposes of taxing, it's 3. It's only 4 if you let it hit your hit points. Or if you try to resist it, because that would narratively mean it's actually hitting you. Where would you like to direct that tax?
I will. So I noticed the attack is coming, and I sidestep to avoid it.
Okay.
Quick question, just to circle back about the burning attack.
Yes.
Don't we all have fire resistance that are on the water team because of the potions that we got from Pavin?
Yeah.
You do, but shrapnel will still be part of it, so it's still going to hurt.
Shrapnel will still be part of it, but we should resist the fire.
Yes.
So, was that factored in already, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this is like bits of like gunpowder, basically, that are bursting in the midst of its structure. This is not a designed weapon. It's not like a flamethrower that's intended to be used. This is an accident because this thing was put together haphazardly. And so it has an unstable component that's just going to blast bits of it off. And if it blasts hard enough, it will hurt itself. The reason it didn't hurt itself last time is because it only rolled 1, which means it only did 2 points of damage. It did that both to you and to itself, but it resisted itself. It resisted its own damage. That's a weird set of mixed things happened there all at once. it can potentially just blow itself to smithereens. It also can be blown to smithereens at range, potentially. I know some of you are ranged attackers. All right, so Shari expertly dodging that heavy swinging hammer. It leaves quite a dent in the ground where you used to be, but because you noticed the attack coming, you were out of the way. And we move on to Trumpy.
I'd like to try and do just a assessment of these guys that we're fighting right now, and see if I can try and pinpoint any weak spots or areas I can call out to the team to focus on attacking.
Excellent.
Or other areas of opportunity environmentally.
Please make a perception plus investigation check. And would you like to make it against the one with explosives in it, the one with the big hammer hand, or the one with sharp claws?
I'm gonna go with the explosives one. That seems like probably the most dangerous to me, personally. They're all bad, but explosions are explosions, I guess, is my reasoning. I forgot if I get any kind of pips for triplets being together. We stick together.
I don't think we stick together gives you pips. I think it gives you advantage. Meaning you could, if you have a potential, you could add that in. Do you have an erudite?
Would erudite potential have been relevant in this case?
Absolutely.
In that case, do I just roll the additional 2?
Yeah, roll the extra dice.
That makes it 4 total successes.
All right. You do. You identify a spot on that where, if fired, it would force it to detonate prematurely. So basically, if you add your dice to someone's attack, pick someone who's coming up and add them to their attack. Their attack will trigger it to roll dice against itself.
Hell yeah! Okay, who wants to take a swing? Who's up?
I think we'd have to go by an initiative order, maybe, right? Or how does that work?
Or someone could hold an action, or I could hold. Could I? I don't know if I could hold it.
Mina is also with you on this initiative. So Mina and Trumpy can coordinate, or you could give this information to somebody who's coming up later.
Mina, do you want to do that?
A ranged attack would be best, so that you're not caught in the blast radius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who has ranged attack?
Well, I don't have a weapon for it, but I have 1 marksmanship.
Francis can hand you a coin.
You can always pick up a rock, I guess. Although that would be throwing.
That'd be throwing. You need a slingshot for it to be marksmanship.
Yeah, we don't really have any. It's like I need an action to make
sling at least.
A sling really quick.
Sufficient. I have engineering, but I don't have the time.
Well, maybe if someone else has ranged abilities, the action could be held, but Francis does not.
Yeah, you can give that advantage to any of your teammates because all of them will eventually come up in the initiative.
Should I just do that then?
Sure. Who?
Yeah, I was kind of putting out a call to see if anyone has ranged. Francis does not.
Any spellcaster can have ranged. presumably.
Well, what Francis has no ranged spells. He's got a lot of
Lucky
movement
nerds
and
in their books.
yeah, he just wants to like talk to the dead and blink
Well, he
around.
happens to be in the blast radius as well. I think this should be pointed out.
Arguably, Francis has very interesting ranged attacks.
If I cut this wing well enough, I technically have a ranged attack.
Like Francis's
Oh!
ranged attacks are other things.
Yeah, actually, I just realized Francis does have animate small corpse. So if I can successfully animate some sort of flying creature or something, I can have them just like kamikaze into the spot that it needs to go into.
While many of the local birds have already flown south for winter, the local bat population does have a few corpses lying around, and there are the corpses of some seagulls that haven't been completely devoured by the local cat population. They're leftovers from before the seagulls flew south.
All right, yeah, that's probably my best option. Or I guess technically a rat could go and like crawl up.
Let's focus in on Mina, whose turn it is, and get that taken care of, and then
Yeah.
we'll move on.
Sounds good.
Mina, do you want to take Shari's lead and just try to run past this thing, or would you like to do some action to try and bring one of these creatures down?
Well, it's gonna depend on what I can get away with. You're gonna let me.
Well, Shari got very unlucky that it rolled like almost all successes when trying to stop her.
Well, I don't have a lot of movement stuff, so like running past isn't gonna work anyway. But arguably, these things they're all magical, but they're all constructions.
Yeah, they're construction. They're not constructions that are intentional. There's no design philosophy here. Magic is pulling parts together in the shapes of things, without much design to how the parts interlock. So what's working with your attacks right now is prying pieces off, more so than actually breaking stuff. It has no internal organs. There's no gears or mechanisms you could jam up. But the pieces do need to be able to move freely and fluidly around each other. If for some reason pieces started fusing together, then it would be in a lot of trouble.
So what I'm hoping to do, and if I need to make an assessment beforehand, I can. But what I'm hoping to do is to. It sounds like I wouldn't actually be able to apply an idea of demolishing these things because they're not a structure, but they are pieces of structure, which means I could basically use them to connect what they have already. So that like the stuff that's magically being brought together is actually just hooked in.
Yeah, if they're kind of rolling around each other like this, and if suddenly they're sticking into each other, then they can't roll because they're bumping into each other. That would inhibit it.
Yeah, so that's my idea, is to basically get to the one that, I mean, get to the only one I can, which is probably the one on the ground.
There's two on the ground right now. One of them with the iron smithing hammer fist, and the other one is a flying one with the sort of volatileness to it that has landed to attack. The other one, the one with the sharp claws, is up in the sky right now with Glup riding on it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna avoid the bomb one unless. No, I don't want to die. I'm thinking basically the claw one, and then to connect points, like connect points in its legs or whatever to basically get it so it can't move, or maybe in its arm, its swinging arm, hammer arm, to like connect it so it can't move that arm.
Awesome. How are you going about that?
I would assume that I'd be able to understand it quickly and move the pieces all, and I would be able to basically just use engineering to do that.
Are you like going into it with a
I'm just-
hammer and like trying to like nail things together? Like what does somebody see if when they watch you do this?
It's basically that I have I have tools to do my engineering shit. I think we all should always have that. And I would run up and basically get on its arm and just tinker, and I'm twisting things and moving stuff so it interlocks.
Awesome. Make either agility or vigor plus your engineering. Probably agility. I think that makes the most sense. Because you're trying to avoid a bunch of moving parts while fusing them together with your blowtorch. If you have advantage, you can also use your Daedic potential on this. Do you have anything that gives you advantage?
I don't know.
Okay, no worries. Make your roll.
This doesn't seem like something Azafu would do. Also, it seems like something Azafu would do.
I think Azafu would do it from very far away.
Azafu would do it very far away. The only thing I have is I have listed in my traits attention to detail, which means that I would be assessing that situation.
Attention to detail, I think, qualifies here.
But then the only data potential I have is demolition, which is like,
I think that's totally relevant in this particular type of building
Yeah.
we're dealing with.
Yeah, just shipbuilding, no. If we were fighting ships. But these aren't made of ship parts. So they might be, but not entirely.
They're made of ship materials a little bit, but also other not ship materials. So, yeah. Demolition makes sense.
So if I'm not, whenever we talk about the costumes and stuff, it still has to be in line with what a character would do, right? So like if we say Azahu would do stuff from afar, it wouldn't be a him thing.
Right. But if you have like a toolkit that has a quality, you could add those pips.
I don't have that, so it's just a basic tier 0, pip 0 toolkit.
All right. Because of the nature of what you're doing, you bypass its hardness, and so all of your damage applies. And you deal 3 damage to it by fusing parts of it on the inside, inhibiting its ability to move. And it's looking severe. It's past the halfway point in what it can handle before it goes down. All right. Let's see. That was Mina and Trumpy. So next up is, the one with the sharp claws. Well, Glup, you're on its back, so it's just going to spin around and try to slash at you with the exposed like nails and bits of glass on its claws.
Actually, I think Francis is... Wait, am I right? Francis after Mina?
Francis after Mina, but isn't Francis in a different category? Francis in group 4?
Yeah, the things we're fighting aren't like in the initiative order that we can see, but that they are, right?
They are in the initiative order. They're just not where you can see. That's right.
Sorry, I'm not aware of the groups.
There's a system to it that I have running on the back end. I was not revealing everything to give you guys an opportunity to learn because your characters are very good at learning. But yes. So this creature is going before Francis, but Francis will go.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, I didn't understand the ordering.
This creature hasn't taken an action yet. This is its first chance to actually do something. So it is going to slash with its claws at Glup. All right, Glup, you have a 4 damage injury coming at you. Additionally, if this injury touches your health, then you're going to have an additional 2 damage injury next turn from bleeding unless you take care of the wound right away. So where is that 4 damage going? Is this going to touch your health, or are you going to tax something else? Bearing in mind that there's a whole underwater fight that you guys need to be ready for. If you get past these and whatever else you have to get past after you pick up the stuff from the ATG.
Trying to look here. I don't have that much avoid and notice right now.
So, avoid and notice are special that you don't have to put all 4 into them. You can just use them to chip it down to a lower number. But if any of those 4 points touch your health, then the scratches are going to bleed, and you'll be facing an extra 2 tax next turn.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't have enough avoid or notice to prevent all 4.
No, it's up to you what you want to do.
So I'll avoid 2 of it, and I'll take 2 health.
Okay. Being on its back, it spins around. You're able to get out of the way of the first couple swipes, but then it lands a hit. A shard of glass cuts across your chest, and the bleeding is profuse. It's going to take more than just holding it. You're going to need some medical attention. You may at this point choose to safely fall back down to where your allies are. If you remain on its back, they're going to have trouble getting medical attention to you.
Yeah, I was thinking of trying to cut its wing one more time, and then I'll hop down.
All right, you're going to stay on it right now?
Yeah, for this moment until I can act.
Okay. So yeah, now we're up to Francis.
I have a question. If I use one of my magical spells, I need to tax if I do succeed, right?
Yes. Or if you fail, honestly. Like, you're taxing it either way.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, tax it to spend it. Does that tax have to come out of my potential?
There are talents that let you take that tax out of other things. Also, you have a magic staff, which is specifically designed for your tax to come out of that instead of your potential.
Oh yeah, excellent. Okay, good, perfect. This will be my first time using my magic staff, which is exciting. Okay, so what Francis is going to do, basically Trompy relayed the information to Francis regarding the weak spot of the explosive golem. Or not really weak spot, but I guess like the spot to concentrate on. I don't know if it's a weak spot.
It's not exactly a weak spot. What it is it's a spot where if you hit it, it's gonna trigger its own attack against itself.
Yeah, and I assume there's some sort of blast radius, or we might want to assume that. So do I see any of my allies around close enough to it where it might...
Only Wampy.
Okay. So, can I feasibly warn Wampy before I do this, or would Wampy need to take their action in order to get out of the way?
Wampy's action comes up, so you're going to take your action, then Shari, then Wampy. You know, given that all 3 of you are kind of clustered together like that, I would allow you guys to rearrange yourselves within that initiative and go in whatever order you please. Because there won't be an enemy coming up until after all 3 of you take your actions.
Got it. Well, yeah, so I suppose ideally maybe Wompy would go first, but to get out of the way. But what do you think? What did you have planned?
I mean, Wampi's plan was to basically create a shatter spell, essentially.
Do you have to be next to it for that?
I don't have to be next to it, but Wampi's plan was to have it radiate out from Wampy.
Ah, yes, got it.
Wampy could still do that, possibly push it away and let you do something. That's
Can I get a? I know that there's one in the air with Glup. There's the explosive one on the ground, and then the other one is on the ground. And Troy or Mina, I think, was it basically disabled one of its arms, or is it fully disabled?
It's not fully disabled, but it's really badly messed up. It's below half. It's not even at half. It's below half of its total health from the internal things. And it's interesting to look at because it doesn't look like pieces knocked off of it the way you would think of damage, but it's just pieces in it that no longer function. It'd be like if some of your muscles were just turned to stone. Not all of them, but some of them. So it's like it can't move its elbow anymore. It can barely move its shoulder. It basically has to attack by swinging its hips to move its whole torso.
Got it. So that one's almost dead. The other one is less dead.
Do you want Wampy to go first and hopefully create an area where Wampy isn't in the blast radius?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just the safest move right now, and then I can always alter what I'm going to do if for whatever reason it doesn't make sense to do the plan. But I'd rather, like, basically the action Francis was going to take is guaranteed to probably injure Wampy right now, and I feel like it would be shitty to do that.
Yeah, so basically what Wampy wants to create is basically jam their staff into the ground and create essentially like a mini earthquake that like rumbles it and hopefully not.
All right, that's reasonable. Oh, sorry, your mic cut out. I thought you were done.
So no, I am trying to rumble the core inside of it.
Okay.
The one that's with me. I'm also hopefully, because it should radiate from Wampy, be able to hit the other one.
That was my question. Is this an area effect that's going to hit both the volatile?
This is an
one?
area of effect.
Okay, cool.
That's supposed to circle around Wampy to give to both damage it and give Wampy space to pull out.
Awesome. This is basically the spell Shatter.
It is basically the spell Shatter.
Cool.
But Wampy has improvisation.
Wampy does, and so that's yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty standard. Shatter would be second circle. Yeah. Let's put those dice down and then let's see how much damage it does. First, we're doing the dice to cast the spell. Additional successes over what you cast can create additional potency to the effect. So,
I
go
get
nuts.
to add druid potential. My staff is pips, not dice, correct?
Although I believe your staff can be taxed to pay for the spell if you want to keep your potential up.
And yeah.
Jeez.
Wampy's good at this shit.
Well, Wampy is good at this shit. Okay. Alright, I gotta do some math here. So that was second circle. So you just, you succeeded, and you have an additional margin of 5 on that, which is awesome. Okay, so, I feel like Shatter is probably a, 3 dice of damage to a radius to justify where it is in the circles. It's not like a fireball, but it's kind of like a fireball. So I'm just thinking fireball scaled down a little bit. Does that sound fair?
That seems fair.
So I want you to add your extra 5 margins of success to those 3 dice of damage. So you're going to be rolling 8 dice of damage here to see just how badly you ruin it. Bear in mind, it does have toughness, so...
Do I get a pips on this?
This is a damage roll. I'm going to say no.
Is there, so the staff doesn't apply here? Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Because of the nature of this, it of course bypasses the resistances, and it utterly destroys the golem with the iron fist. And it our volatile golem is hanging on by a pair of threads there.
And I assume that Wappy can retreat safely
Yes.
after that. So Wappy will retreat safely and allow Francis to do whatever.
All right, so the one that was attacking Shari is out of the picture. And Francis, your go.
When you say the one that was attacking Shari, is that the explosive one or the?
No. That was
that was the other.
The Iron Fist one. The explosive one is still up, but is really badly damaged. It's not entirely made of like solid things. It's made of lots of loose things, so it may have been a little better prepared for that, maybe, but also maybe not. It was the only one that still was at full health, and it's now barely hanging on by a thread. Technically 2 threads. It's got 2 hit points left.
All right. Well, hopefully I can snip those threads. All right. So Francis is going to cast Animate Small Corpse using his staff. The staff has battery and capacitor, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly that means.
You can tax the staff, and it will give you both the battery result and the capacitor result simultaneously. What circle is the spell?
It's circle what?
So the staff is paying for it. The staff could have paid for a much more powerful spell with both battery and capacitor, but it's okay. Like, it's paying for the spell. You don't have to tax anything. On your sheet, you just tax the staff by 1.
Got it. But I can still use both of those in the future?
Yes. Every time you trigger one, you trigger both. So they do double duty, and they can make it so you can cast a lot of stuff without having to lower your own potential. Every time you do, of course, you are taxing your staff. So the staff will offer progressively fewer pips for your spell casting. But that's okay. Like, you can repair your staff. Not mid-battle or mid-nightmare, as we're currently in a crazy situation, but, you know, when things are calm again and you have time to rest and go visit a workshop, you can pay somebody to fix it up. And there is a talent you can take where you repair battery and capacitor stuff automatically when you rest. I think it lets you repair them with your stamina. Basically, you can just swap taxes from your stamina to them while resting, which is awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'll add that to my shopping list. So I still need to roll, though, and I'm going to roll with my potential plus the Trompy bonus, I believe, which would be adding 4 dice.
And all twins are present, so you have We Stand Together for advantage, which means you also add in dice from your scholarship and your cunning.
Oh my god.
And you only need 1 success, so your chances of failure here are minuscule.
I'm going to be sad if I fail. Let's see.
You got it! And with a margin of success of 3, there's not a lot of ways that you can dial the spell up with a higher margin of success, especially since it's not improvised. But yeah, you did very, very good. Do you have esoteric channeling?
Nope, I did not get that.
Cool. We don't have to worry about that. Yeah, all right. you have a creature. Since you have so many successes, I'm going to give you some options here. It can be a seagull. It can be a bat. It doesn't necessarily have to be a flying creature either, if you would like a mouse or a fish.
The imagery of a fish somehow making its way, flopping its way over there is hilarious, but I'm not going to go that route. I think I'll just go with some sort of, I'll go with a seagull just because it's bigger and I feel like it might pack more of a punch. And basically, the seagull is going to essentially just like emerge from the sky, just dive bombing straight for this golem, right for the sweet spot that Trumpy had pointed out.
Awesome. The seagull may emerge from the sky from some people's perspectives, but from your perspective, you know that the bones have come from the sewer, where some poor dead seagull from the previous season, before they all flew south, met some cats and had an unfortunate day. But you get those bones assembled remotely, and it takes off and comes to your aid and strikes. All right. So it deals 2 points of damage to itself, which is 2 times 2 minus 2. So the burst burst out for 4 points of damage. It has 2 points of resistance. It also only has 2 hit points left, which kills it. So
excellent.
You have cursploded it. Only one remains overhead, where it is wrestling with Glup. Glup does appear to be bleeding. Shari, you do still have a move. Is Ed back from AFK?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. So just bringing you up to speed with some clever spell work and some clever engineering work. The 2 of the golems are pieces on the ground now. And the last one remaining is the one with sharp claws flying in the air with Glup clinging to it, but Glup is bleeding pretty badly.
Okay.
If Glup... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm going to... I'm useless in the fight. So I'm going to go ahead and stand back and shout heads up when things happen or when there are opportunities to attack. That's my general plan.
Okay.
Can I roll leadership?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and then hand those out as dice or something. I guess we'll do perception. So I'm watching for opportunities, right?
Do you have the talent heads up?
I do not.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Then just narratively, that's absolutely. Probably dice, given the situation.
Yeah, they'd be assistants. All right, I'm holding on to 4 dice. So
excellent. Let's see. Next up was the golem that's dead. Then Glup. You're up, Glup. You are riding on the one golem that is left of this group that attacked you here, but you are bleeding, and if you do not address the bleeding before the golem's turn comes up, you're going to take an extra 2 damage.
Yeah. Glop is gonna pull out one of his vials. He's gonna smash part of it. And he's gonna rip it along the edge of the wings as he tries to get down off of it and like get away from it.
Okay.
And just plug it against the wall.
So you're basically trying to attack it as you jump off, right?
Yeah, I'm sort of like sliding down the back of it to to try to like sort of like the sword along the back rubber seams like things.
Look, and you're doing this unarmed again?
Sort of, yes, because I only have vials on me, and there's rough parts. So I like smashed one of the vials, and I have a sharp piece of glass in my hand. I'm using glass against it, since he used glass against me.
Oh, I see. You've improvised a weapon by breaking one of your bottles.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Remove the bottle from inventory, obviously, and you can use close weapon fighting. Wait, do we have close weapon fighting?
I think it's just melee,
Okay, yeah, melee.
which is the same dice as last time. Currently, the vials don't have actually any. I didn't have any quality on them for some reason, but yeah.
Okay. You scratch at it with glass, only to come to realize that yeah, the glass doesn't really do much against this. Magical forces are binding it together, and the materials it's made of just aren't subject to that kind of damage. If it was made of flesh, it would have absolutely been effective, but its natural hardiness is not able to be pierced by something like that. But you do fall to the ground safely.
Yeah, and I just sort of lay on my back for a moment, just.
Glup now being safely on the ground. Anyone with medical ability may be able to aid you. Next up in the order is the dead golem. So Trumpy and Mina, you're up.
Okay, well.
The flying golem gets to go after you two. So if you can't patch up Glup's injury, he's going to take more damage.
I do not have. Ooh, I have a single point of medicine. But he's still up there, ain't he?
Nope, he jumped down.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. In that case, I can do some basic first aid on him with my medicine of 1 and my presumably focus of 3.
Sounds good.
And probably your potential.
You need 2 successes because there's 2 points of damage coming at him. So if you can beat those, you get it. If you even get 1 success, at least there'll be less damage coming at him.
With my erudite potential, I just barely squeak enough points.
Even though the dice really didn't like you on that roll, you still got enough. So yeah, good job.
The stitches are a little patchy.
There might be a
Most
scar,
if done by a child.
but you did it.
Can you imagine they're like toddlers? They're like, oh, we have to stop the bleeding. And like, it's like, what the heck, dude? These poor children.
I got a boo-boo.
You just put dirt on it. You just like picked up dirt, right? And just that'll do it.
Yeah, that might work. Just pack the wound.
All right. So this creature, looking at you, it doesn't really know who to attack. So I'm just going to decide randomly with a 6-sided die, and it has chosen Shari.
I thought there was 2 people before it.
There is. So Trompy succeeded. Now Mina, you can see that it's about to dive bomb Shari. What would you like to do? It would have gone for Glup if Glup was still bleeding, but you fixed that. So.
Um, I guess it heavily depends on. Am I capable of checking that I can move parts without it being my action of the like fallen creatures? I guess it's the idea is to connect parts. I already know I can connect parts of the city, and there's just, like all these jumbled pieces. I just kind of want to put together a like hard like shield kind of thing.
Okay.
I've already been connecting parts, and if I can just take those parts essentially that I've already forced together into like a mass and just get that in front of her. But that's what I'm thinking. If I go to grab them and they don't move, then that doesn't really work.
Okay, so yeah, your idea here is you wanna toss the fused together pieces over there as like a shield, right? Interesting. Because none of those pieces themselves are very shield-like. Now that they're fused together, they're very arm-like. They're very much like a statue's arm in structure and shape. And at the end of that arm is a hammer. It's a smithing, like a really big smithing hammer for doing big, all-day metal work on ships. You know what, though? If the dice roll high enough, you can come up with something. Part of the narration might be that you don't push it to Shari, you pull Shari to it. Just given the size of things.
Yeah, we're both in the same place. So if something's attacking Shari right now, I feel like it's attacking me.
Yeah.
Just in respect of I jumped on the thing's arm that was swinging at her.
All right, let's see some dice here. This is
Okay, so if I'm pulling her toward me, that's more of what the action is.
Yeah, this is definitely not focus. You're doing something in an instant, a moment of inspiration.
I don't know what the skill would be.
I would do agility plus engineering.
Okay, that's fine. Wow.
I mean,
Holy shit.
coin flips will do that to you sometimes.
Oh,
A lot of fours.
Is Uther like particularly vindictive today?
I don't know.
Can you turn that setting off?
It's just math.random, so.
Do you need to redo the seed?
Did you turn off karma dice?
Did you separate out your land cards and then like shuffle them in even intervals? Sorry, that's a different game.
Also illegal.
Indeed, because it ceases to be random. That was the point of the joke. In any case, yeah, let's move on then to the attack coming against Shari.
Okay. What's the attack that I'm looking at right now?
So a creature is dive bombing you from the air with sharp claws. It is coming at you with 3 points of tax. If any of these points of tax touch your health, then an additional 2 points of tax will come to you next round unless the wound is treated. It's a bleeding attack.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm looking for attacks right now, and I have 4 dice to negotiate, or 4 successes to negotiate. So I'm just going to. I mean, I will shout out to myself that there's a problem, and then
Cool.
Dive for cover, I guess.
Yeah. You avoid it. Very good. With 1 point left over, actually, you still have one more that you could use for some future thing if it's not finished off in this next round. So it is the only creature remaining, which means now that we've gotten past its turn in the order, all of you guys can decide what order you go in. But if you can't decide, then next up is Francis. I guess technically next up is Francis, and Francis can choose to not necessarily be the next person to go.
Are talents multi-use? Like, if I have a talent, can I use it multiple times in one session, or?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Fine.
The limit on the number of times you can use it is because talents typically tax something. So as you're taxing it, you're reducing the number of times you can use it. But if you've got stuff like your staff that lets you move tax onto the staff, then yeah, like you can use talents a bunch.
Cool, wonderful. Yeah, I'm just trying to long game it since I know we have more to do. But okay. So do I get a sense of how strong this thing still is? How beaten down is it?
Glup managed to pull a couple parts off of it while up in the air, but mostly uninjured. It's barely scratched.
So here's what I'm thinking I want to try and do. I think Francis is going to use his Together We Stand talent. And with that, basically he's able to yell out some sort of like narrate a group order, and then any support is considered collaboration, so it's extra additional successes.
Ooh.
And I don't exactly know how the support or assistance is calculated based on reading this, but that does sound like it could be cool. And then maybe I can see who's coming up on initiative order and probably target those folks. Or particularly, I think it would make sense to target... I don't know if it makes sense to target the triplets for like extra bonus of a We Stand Together as well, but that's a possibility. But I know I think there's Glup in between, so...
Well, it's basically all of us and then
Yeah, this is awesome. So basically, like, yeah, somebody who narrates helping, like what Shari did, instead of giving you dice, it would just be they'd just be giving you successes. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I believe that I would be giving other people the successes.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Good. That's what I thought. So
wait, is this the same thing that Shari just used?
No, I just rolled dice.
Oh, you're okay. All right. Oh, okay. You rolled. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
But yeah, I don't want to necessarily like dictate what everyone's going to do next, but I know we've got maybe Glup is not injured anymore, so maybe he's able to like help and just a second, looking at initiative order. Trumpy's last.
I was thinking of Glup could since he's a bit of a springer, he could like one of you has a staff or something. I think I could like cause you to go into the air and do like a staff pound.
Okay, I'm reading it. Yeah, that's a good thing to do because this is how it works. So you narrate an order, and then anybody else in the group who carries out that order, if additional people from the group, so we go into like third, fourth, and fifth people, etc. Roll to help them in carrying out your order, then their help is considered successes instead of dice.
Oh, hell yeah. But then I think we also have. Okay, cool. Good. Okay.
Which means if you give an order and then 4 of your teammates assist a 5th teammate in carrying out that order, then all of those dice get added into one big attack, which potentially could be like 30, 40 dice being rolled. Uther will be quite upset at the number.
And then is there any potential for shuffling order at all?
Yes. Because there's only one enemy left, so you guys can work that out however you want.
Got it. So basically, I feel like we should pick whoever is the most OP for attacks and then buff the shit out of them. So I was kind of thinking, I don't know exactly who that might be, but I do know that as far as helpers can go, Trumpy could do another like help to figure out like a good spot to hit or something like that. Or, you know, like just trying to think of different ways that we can lean on characters who maybe not as combative and have them help out from a supporting angle. But as far as who wants to land the blow that everyone helps with, say I if you feel like you're a badass who can mess up this golem's day. I feel like Wompy did some badass stuff, but I don't know if there's anyone else
If
in
anybody
here.
else has significant like combat ability, Whoppy could also be really good with it, like assist. But if not, Whoppy will take the strike.
All right. And the eyes have it. Unless there's someone else that has an eye. All right. Okay. Do you still have like, didn't you have like a hammer out at some point?
The hammer was turned into a staff, but if Dave would allow it, I would pick up the forge hammer that has been here.
I will allow it, and I will also allow Mina to engineer that hammer to be more usable to you.
Ooh, baby. This is going to be good. All right. Well, I mean, ultimately, the order that Francis throws out is like, Wompy, grab that hammer and smash this thing to smithereen. And then pass it over to Wompy so that we can buff the shit out of their...
Want Whoppy to go
Okay.
last after people help, right? Because they all get help.
Yeah, totally.
So Wompy's going to go for that hammer. The hammer is currently fused to bits of arm-shaped rock and rubble. So I think the next person that should probably take an action would be Mina.
Making me undo my work? How rude.
And is what Mina does will be support to this, right? Okay, cool.
Collaboration. It will be collaboration, which means successes.
I think Mia is actually with the hammer right now.
Cowering under it, but yeah.
I mean, if this were like D&D rules, I'm pretty sure I would have basically engineered the hammer to fall on myself. But just narratively, I didn't assist at all. Okay, so I guess essentially at this point I'm disconnecting the hammer, but still leaving part of the arm connected. So you basically just like slip into a gauntlet of construction parts, and that's the hammer glove.
Nice.
Like,
I like
instead
it.
of holding the hammer, you basically have extra weight behind the hammer hit. But to do that, I have to separate the hammer.
You're acting at speed here, but this is not necessarily agility. I think this is a cunning roll.
Seriously, go reset Uther.
Put a little circle of salt around the server that Uther runs on. Dice mythology, or what was the right term for it? Superstition. Dice superstitions transitioning into digital dice rolling is just going to get hilarious. All right. Well, that is an extra 2 successes towards Wampy's attack. Did anybody else want to assist Wampy?
I know before they do their major attack thing, Glup wants to like basically put their hands around them and jump up and like let go so they could do like a.
All right, you're getting a super boost into the sky for a big hammer's drop. I'm going to call this an athletics. Probably plus vigor. Sorry, Glove, but that kind of is what you described.
Wampy is small.
True.
Well, that
No, no,
definitely reduces my dice a lot.
Just so we're doing, Wampy rolls 6 dice on this, assuming no help.
Oh, well, I think there's more. Oh, nice. Cool. I see what you mean.
So I'm currently at 8 dice.
Well, actually, these are successes.
These are successes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kristen did a cool thing.
Also, as we've seen in history, 6 dice can be 0 successes.
So, Tice, I am not going to rule that you didn't do it, just that it didn't add any extra help to it. But you do still leap up into the air. So narratively, it's coming down from the sky. It's just not adding anything to it.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I guess the injury to my chest was.
Yeah, it's still just freshly healed. It's a little rough there. And it's not like it was magically healed. It was patched up by actual needlework. Okay. We've got the 2 sort of tactician observer types. What would you guys like to do to assist in Wampy landing the perfect strike?
Do the observation here.
You said you're gonna just do your same like observation thing, find a weak point?
Yep.
Cool. Perception plus investigation. And, of course, add your erudite. It's another 3 successes. And what would Shari like to add to this? You're currently under the effects of Francis's leadership ability, where helping actions give successes instead of dice.
What's the order? What are we supporting?
You're supporting Wampy being thrown up into the air by Glup and coming down on this thing with a hammer that Mina has engineered from one of the deceased golems.
And I think we know one of the weak spots.
Trumpy has just pointed out a weak spot. That's right. Keen investigative eye has found a gap in some of the hinge work that is keeping it together.
All right, so I'll run up. I'll try and run up and distract it. My main aim is to not get hit, but anything that's left over, I will try and direct it in a way that makes its weak spot available and makes it not notice the hammer falling.
That is excellent. Aiming to get its weak spot in position. That sounds like a leadership kind of move to me. That's strategy. Which aptitude? I'm not sure.
I mean, I could do cunning or yeah. I mean, I was going for an athletics thing for dodging, but I can go cunning and leadership or.
You don't need to get its attention because it was already targeting you.
Right. Okay.
It's been trying to kill you. So yeah, really, it's all about just lining it up right. I think cunning plus leadership would be a good role for that.
Okay.
Okay.
See, Ether likes me.
Hell yeah. So, Viv, you may make your roll.
Do I get pips from the hammer?
I'm going to let you know right now that it doesn't matter because there are enough successes in all the helper actions to kill this. We're just going to see how much overkill you get.
How many? Do I get any pips from the hammer? Like, does the hammer have a quality to it?
4 pips.
4.
Okay, so you have gone 5 points over what was necessary to kill this. Narrate your thunderous fall from the sky. What does this look like to an observer?
So, Whoppy kind of is a little bit off of the group when Francis gives the call because Whoppy's had to retreat from the blast and everything. So I was a little bit off for it. So when Whoppy hears it, Whoppy starts charging. I'd like to imagine Mina finishes getting the hammer into usable shape and tosses it up to Whoppy. Whoppy kind of catches it on the go. Here's Trompy's call out of the weak spot. But doesn't really get a good look at it yet because they're in motion. And a fluid motion bounces up into the air off of Glup essentially. And just comes down with a crashing and it just shatters to tiny bits of stone. Some of the parts of city aren't even recognizable as parts of city anymore. It just looked like they came out of a quarry. There's a huge dust cloud that covers everybody in the area, and as it sells, you just see Whoppy coming up with a little bit of shrapnel out in their cheek, and Whoppy plucks it out, tosses it to the side, and says, "Whoppy, think, group, get moving."
All right, good job. The team has overcome this threat, and you proceed onward to the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild. Here at the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild, you guys have access to lots of marbles and other magical things. Here's the basic rule. You can either collect marbles, collect magic stuff that you can get for free because the cashier that's supposed to ring you out is basically twitching on the ground. Or, and I'm not, because this is not an and, it's an or, you can do one of these things. You can collect marbles, collect magic gear. You can send a message to the other teams to let them know what they're up against with these golems, or rest. If you choose to rest, you're not regaining tax, but I will allow you to move 4 tax to your stamina if you're not doing anything else while you're here. So just going through the list. Shari, what would you like to do while you're here at the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild before heading off to presumably either fight or try to avoid more of these things getting to the docks?
I would like to rest.
go ahead and rest and move 4 of your attacks to your stamina. Wompy, what would you like to do?
Wampi would like to look for marbles.
Alrighty. Go ahead and I'm going to say roll your resources plus your investigation plus your focus. And the result of that will be the number of marbles you collect.
Do I get anything for actually being a member of the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild? And possibly knowing where they're stored?
Yeah, I would say that you can get some pips for that. Go ahead and give yourself 5 pips for your membership. Really? That's your resources plus...
Focus plus investigation plus resources, yeah. Wampi has connections, not resources.
Okay, well, your connections are unfortunately unconscious at the moment, so... wow, yeah. So you go to open it, it looks like somebody else had a similar idea. You just find a couple of them at the bottom of the cabinet where they're supposed to be. But perhaps somebody else could investigate and figure out where they've gone to.
I don't know if... I don't think my potential's applied there. They're both magical in nature, and I'm looking for shit.
They're arcane magic, though, and your magic is decidedly not arcane.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Glup,
I'm gonna
what would you
do
like
some
to do?
stuff here.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Ah, shit. Well, because Trumpy got their skills through character points and not spending points on skills, I will simply do treasure hunt.
Oh,
Treasure.
okay, yeah.
I will pay an investigation to guarantee that everything valuable at the scene, even hidden items, are around that I find. Oh, this is when using plunder. Excuse me.
You find 20 marbles.
Holy shit.
Treasure Hunter just gives you all that's there, so...
It says, but
yeah.
so I may have made a mistake here. So it says when using plunder, you may spend an additional investigation to get everything, but I have to use plunder first.
Yes.
And I don't have any points in crime. Oh, or one investigation. Sick. Never mind.
Plunder's awesome. So yeah, tax
It's
here.
gonna harm my ability to call out issues, but now we have all the stuff. So
Yeah.
Infinite ammo glitch.
That is a really good use of that. That's excellent. Okay. Yeah. So. Let's see. Glup. We still need to know what is Glup doing here. But there are no more marbles to find. By the way, they've all been collected.
I guess looking for some more items that might be able to help us with underwater combats and stuff.
ATG does sell things that can help you with stealth, things that can help you... Most of their maneuvering stuff doesn't really work underwater, but the stealth globes would. It's a little glass bead, you break it, and a dust emerges that creates darkness. You guys have used those before in one of your heists.
Yeah. Sure. Look for some dust globes.
Okay. And then Trompy, you did your thing. Mina, what are you doing? Magic items, resting, or sending a message? Actually, do you have the ability to send a message? I don't think you do.
I don't have the ability to send a message, and I don't need to write. As an aside, or if it needs to be part of this, are we going to the harbor, or are we going to the secret shipyard?
The secret shipyard.
Okay, just to make sure, The harbor would seem somewhat pointless.
Yeah. Not the like harbor, but the secret shipyard harbor. It is a kind of harbor. It's just in a slightly different place.
They've got to kind of be in the same area, but I
Yeah, the entrance is in an unusual spot. The entrance is in one of the public parks.
Is there only one entrance?
No,
I mean, two, obviously.
Yeah,
Am I aware of any other entrances?
You're only aware of the secret park entrance and the water entrance.
Okay.
Did you want to collect magic-y things, or restore some of your attacks, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess collecting stuff would be the most beneficial. I'm just trying to think of what I can actually get here.
So while the store does have, finished goods for sale, so to speak, and they finally have finished some of those camera orbs. So they have some crystal ball recording devices built now and on the shelves. They've been working on that for weeks. But yeah, in addition to that, there is just raw materials here. Magical raw materials. Blood of dragon and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, actually, sorry.
Yeah, I guess I'll collect any material I can, because I can potentially artifice into the ship improvement.
All right, cool. So you get some miscellaneous artificing materials to take with you. And then Francis. Francis, are you going to recover tax, send a message to let your other teams know about these creatures before they engage them, or gather magical stuff?
Just in case, I'll just go with recover tax.
Okay. So you can move 4 tax to your stamina.
Cool.
I didn't think you taxed all that much.
I only took 2 taxes, but then I was just like, I figure we don't need to warn the other people. They'll figure it out. And as far as magic items, I'm like, I'm magical enough. Francis is magical.
Very much so. All right. I thought the tax went to your staff.
Oh, wait, can I recover staff tax?
No.
I had 1 staff tax and 1 leadership tax.
Well, if you have daedal crafting, you could. I don't think you have enough time. That's more of
Cool.
a downtime kind of thing to repair your staff.
Yeah, no worries. I didn't realize that. Okay, in that case, I'll buy magical items.
Buy.
I guess, or acquire. Are they free right now?
The clerk that you would pay is on the floor, unconscious, twitching.
Poor guy. All right, well, what are my options as far as magical items?
They've got pads that'll give you super speed, wall climbing, a really high jump. They've also got the crystal ball recorders. They have globes of darkness. Although I think they're not supposed to sell globes of darkness to the general populace, but they do make them and they make money off them. So they're here to be had.
What's a globe of darkness?
It's those shadow balls that we threw down when we were raiding those caravans.
Oh, yeah, okay, got it.
It looks like a little marble, similar to the marbles that power things, but instead of having power in it, it just has darkness in it. And when the glass breaks, the darkness expands to fill an area, and you can't see inside that area.
Yeah, that was real frustrating to deal with for us. I'll go with the sticky stickers for climbing walls.
That could be very helpful on a ship.
And that's it, I guess.
Cool.
Well, yeah. I don't want to go crazy and just take everything, so I feel kind of bad for the guy on the floor. So Francis just grabs one of the sticky stickers and leaves the rest behind.
Okay. because Troppy basically just found all the marbles in the first place, could Woppy have done something different instead?
Yes.
Okay. Um, yeah, I think Woppy, in that case, might as well recover their tax. From the health hit. I imagine that basically was Woppy showed Troppy the back storage. Troppy went, and then Woppy sat down and rested.
Cool. So yeah, you can move 4 tax into your stamina, and then meanwhile, back at base, the other teams are stepping out as well. Shall we handle next the team of heading to Lightning or the team heading to Radiance?
Team Light sounds pretty fun right now. Or Lightning, yeah.
Yeah. It might be nice to leave light for the end since that's the big crazy combat one.
Yeah, that was gonna be the light fight.
Yeah, I was gonna try and run them all simultaneously, but if you want to, we could just finish off the Steam one since it doesn't seem like you're using the communication as a feature.
Steam group, yeah. I think we had enough information. Maybe we should keep it open though. Different groups might encounter more or different things.
Yeah, maybe there might be an opportunity to let the Steam group know about something.
Yeah, because Steam group in particular is kind of limited on the amount of people that can send message back and forth. It's basically Woppy or Francis, both of whom can save their magic for other more impactful things. Whereas on maybe the diplomat group, which I think is Radiance, or Lightning group, maybe there's a little more wiggle room to spend tax on sending message.
Okay. Of the things you discovered, you did discover that these creatures have weak points, so you might be able to give some of your other teams some bonuses through that. But it's up to you.
Woppy would improvise it if he did.
I mean, both you and Francis also, like, you have your staves, and you have a lot of capability for outputting magical stuff. Do either of you... okay, Francis does not have channeling. Does Woppy have channeling?
Woppy does not either.
Okay.
Woppy just has a pretty high druid potential and improvisation.
All right, are we feeling like we want to switch gears into one of the other teams then, or do you want to stick with this team and follow them through the next step? I'm leaving the controls in your hands here.
I'd like to follow the team of diplomats, personally, and save the lightning fight for last.
Yeah.
All right, the team of diplomats. That is Nest, Andre, Reggie, Chryslisar, Bax, and Kyleel. I need to make sure I get them into their correct initiative order. Ooh, this group is slow.
I prefer reactionary.
Fair enough.
I did find it interesting that of the characters here, all three of mine had really high initiatives. I think that might just be the way I built characters.
You foresaw the party split? Like, oh, this is gonna happen.
So I think it's just that I spend on aptitudes a lot. All my characters have at least 2 in every aptitude, so...
Although Shari got to the top of the list from a lineage. But yeah, aptitudes, super useful. All right. Here we go. So, setting out from the gate, the Steam team went on their way while this group was lacing up their boots, and then they head instead of east across the city. This group heads north. You're going directly to the train yards. It's a pretty short trip, but right away you notice these golems around. Are you guys doing any kind of scouting? Anybody here able to fly or anything? Your other teams have so many cool tricks up their sleeve.
Bax is with this team?
Yes, Bax is with this team.
I've got an athletics of 2. I could like run ahead, but I'm a big dum-dum. I do have keen sight, actually, but beyond that.
Okay, make an investigation plus perception check and add that keen sight bonus for me, please.
Oh god, that's gonna suck. I have a perception of 1 and an investigation of none.
Can Nest make a leadership role to have ordered you into this position? Like, Bax, you're going to... Don't run too far ahead, but run a little bit ahead and scout to report back.
Sure, yeah.
So how does that help me? So
You'll get the
I've just got the 1 perception. So
You get some extra dice to roll on it.
Yeah. You'll get some extra dice.
Okay, cool.
Those extra dice get to make use of your pips from your sight.
See, now you have 4 dice.
Fantastic.
And then how does my keen sight play into that?
So keen gives you pips for certain types of activities. Is yours basic keen sight, or did you take a disadvantage to upgrade it?
It's basic.
Then I believe you get 2 pips to any sight-based activities. 3 successes. Okay. So you spot what looks like a kind of like a dust cloud rising up out of the street. Not the smoke and fires of industry. This is like the dust of a scuffle. Climbing up to a building, because you're kind of entering into a district of like warehouses and stuff. But from a heightened position on a ladder, you see what looks like fighting between golem-like things. It's a bit of a distance, but your keen sight zeroes in and sees that the golems are fighting something that, while it's golem-shaped, is of a much more organized material. Scaling down, you spot just in time, before you reach the bottom of the ladder, that some of the more disorganized golems have peeled away and are heading towards your party. And because everyone's so slow in the initiative, I'm sorry about this, but the golems actually get to you and get to attack before anybody really even notices they're there. Bax, you notice they're there, This isn't exactly a surprise round, but you're on your way down the ladder, so you won't be able to participate until you make it to the bottom. Who's going to be standing kind of in the front of the group? Who's taking the lead here?
Nest would be. Shield out.
Oh, you've got a shield. That's awesome. That may prove very useful in a moment.
I've got a quality 8 shield with Aegis and Sanctuary on it.
Busting out of the side of a warehouse, just like leaving a Wile E. Coyote shape in the wall, basically. A golem with a piece of like railway, like a actual railway, like metal rail for one of its arms, takes a swing at you. It is not doing particularly well, having come through the wall, however. So it stumbles a bit. It's only a 2-tax hit, but if it is a heavy hit, so if it touches your health, you'll take a 3rd point of damage.
Nest deflects it with the shield, with Aegis.
Cool. That's just, you tax the shield by 1, and it just...
Tax the shield by 1 to reduce by the amount equal to the maximum quality.
Which, is way more than what this damage is. So,
yeah.
Boom! Bounces right off your shield. All right, Chrysalisar. Seeing this happen, you actually do have quite good reactions here, so you're first in line. Technically, you do share an initiative with Nest, so you guys could coordinate if you wish.
All right. So that was one hitting us. How many were there total?
There are 2 more coming that Bax spotted. Bax is on their way down from the ladder. This one just busted through a wall like Kool-Aid Man style to get at you. But it turned out to be ineffective. Also, there is another one just kind of like, it's come around a corner and is making a sprint. It'll be there soon. And you see that there is a flying one coming from behind you.
Okay, so where are you at, Nest? Do you want to deal with the one, or do you want to team up on the one you're on?
I'm kind of right in front of it. Nest is very much a defensive mage, so if you could deal damage, that would save Nest from using her only damage. And possibly be able to protect the people behind us.
Chrysalisar has both like melee combat abilities and magic, right?
Yeah, so now I'm just trying to figure out what to do.
The flying one does appear to have, it looks like it's come from the market, and it looks like the market stall was selling potions, and it just has like a rack of potions for its chest. And it is a golem built around that rack of potions.
That's horrifying.
You what?
Yeah.
I mean, what Nest is going to do is Nest is going to cast shield on the group to protect from the one that's flying. So, if you want to focus on damage, and let Nest do that. Yeah.
And I have magic missile, and I feel like I could just fire that off at the flying one.
100%.
That's kind of where I'm thinking, because that seems of the 3 the most actually dangerous. What are our rules on magic missile now? Because I think my definition of it has changed.
My understanding was that it had a cap on 5 damage, but it would deal a number of dice of damage equal to your potential. With a cap of 5, it doesn't go above 5.
Okay.
So it scales up nicely as you get more powerful and then kind of plateaus.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Is this a memorized spell, or do you have to roll for it?
I have to roll for it.
Go ahead and roll.
So I'm just rolling my arcane to use it. My potential to use it. And then we're adjusting based on that roll.
Right. You need a success. This is not an improvised spell, so it's going to do just exactly what it was designed to do. So more than one success doesn't add anything here, unless you have channeling. If you have channeling, then it can pay for itself. Do you have channeling?
I do not.
Okay, so you successfully cast it. Roll. What is your? It's 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've successfully cast it. Roll that again to see how much damage it does.
Cut those backward.
It does a point of damage. Yeah. Fortunately, it is guaranteed damage, but it is not exactly rocking the boat there. Cool. And then, Nest, you're casting shield, is that right?
Yeah, unless that's something I could cast like as a reaction type of thing. I don't know if we do like reactions in Talus.
We haven't been. That's something we can talk about for the next set of rules.
I don't think that this can fail.
Yeah, I don't think it can. But we'll see.
I need a single success. I did. This is not one of the ones I have under memorization, but I need a single success. And I have advantage because I am protective of others, so I am rolling 11 dice, and I have 8 pips.
Jeez. Yeah, the pips guaranteed that was not failable.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a really fancy shield. I've even added lights and stuff inside.
Awesome.
But, yeah. And that should keep everybody, I imagine, safe from the one that's flying above. From, like, dive bombing somebody.
Yeah, it's the when you're well, okay, who are you casting it on, yourself, or who are you casting it on?
Basically, I imagine we're huddled in, like, a group.
Okay, so you're casting shield and basically stepping out with the shield to get in the way.
I was casting on the, I imagine we were in a group that was kind of quite tightly together. I cast on one of, like, the diplomat types who like, can't do combat, like Reggie or, somebody.
Okay, yeah, pick one. Reggie's here.
Is it not do I not create an AoE shield?
If this is the spell shield, it's the first circle spell, then it's a personal shield for
I
dueling.
did not write down it, but I can backtrack it
if
by
it's the
counting out the ones I have in my spellbook.
Yeah, if it's the second circle one that's like Delterra's safety bubble thing, that's different. That's an area one.
would I need to have both in my book, or
Well,
if I
how many
want to?
how many pages does the one in your book take up?
That's why I'm trying to backtrack through. You have to just give me a second. Pull up the Slavered Arcade, because I actually don't even know if this book is full. It might be.
If it's shield, just the word shield as written, then that is probably the first circle spell that I had available for you to learn in your combat class, and you learned it in order to qualify to learn combat spells. The reason they require that to learn combat spells is because shield, as one of its features, nullifies magic missile. So when people are learning how to cast magic missile for the first time, also knowing how to cast shield can be really important.
Okay. It is the first circle. I can't couldn't have fit the second circle into this book.
Okay, cool. So yeah, choose a beneficiary for shield.
In that case, it is Reggie.
All right.
As I think Reggie is the one that we need to get through the thing.
Reggie, a protective shield forms around you. Nest, what is your potential that you're using on this one? What's the rank of it?
Esoteric. I just literally have it as esoteric. It's like a scholastic magic.
No, that's awesome.
Never actually
What rank? What rank is it?
Oh, 2.
2. Okay, cool. So Reggie, any attacks that come at you, you can just roll 2 dice to nullify portions of that damage while this effect is on you. Which is awesome because the golem running down the street is getting close. I take it so Nest and Crystalsar, you guys are still kind of in the lead up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's again, I imagine, is in front with the shield.
Yeah, I imagine that Crystalsar is probably its target since it just fired a magic missile. So this one is running up. This one does have railroad spikes for claws. So Crystalsar, you have a 4 damage attack coming at you. This attack will cause bleeding if it touches your hit points. How do you want to process the attacks, and what do we see as you do that?
Checking Talus real quick. Seeing if I can tweak anything, but I don't think I can. Okay, so the most I can mitigate is 3 in one style. So I guess I'm taking 3 to resist, which narratively is just I saw it coming, grounded myself, and basically took the hit, but deflected most of the spikes off to points in my armor, but one of the points didn't stick in armor.
And
It stuck into me.
Cuts a gash across the side of you as it tears through. If you do not receive medical attention, then next turn you will take an additional 2 tacks of damage to your health. Which brings us to Reggie and Andre. Reggie, you have priority if you definitely want to do something before Andre does.
I mean, I'm not a fighter, so I will defer.
Not quite a fighter either. Just looking to see if I have some options here. Henri was probably going to go the route of not fighting. Trying to see what else I might want to consider doing. I just feel like he has the Inui powers, but I just don't think now's the time for that. So other than that, I think what I'm going to do is, let's see. So Reggie, are you going to have any means of not getting hurt in this encounter? Like,
Reggie's pretty beefy.
okay.
I'm not
It's also
fragile.
got a shield.
The kind of the point of this is getting Reggie to the Petrish, which I think are fighting ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've got leadership and some athletics, but, like, I don't have any sort of... It's got a little bit of stealth. I don't really have a lot of, like, useful stuff in a fight, but I've got 6 health and 7 composures.
You're quite right that, like, the objective here is to get Reggie to where Reggie can start using that diplomatic oration ability to create Petrish allies to do this fighting for you. Yeah.
So I think what Henri is going to do, I don't know if I can pull off this, but maybe this is just obvious with the situation, but is there any route that looks like we might be able to sneak past? Like, I can escort Reggie away from this encounter and towards the Petrish?
Yes. So Nest and Chrysalzar have engaged the 2 ground-based golems in the sort of forward position to the north of you. The flying one is coming up from the south. So dodging into alleyways, either east or west, would take you away from this fight, potentially into more danger. What you'd want to try and do is you'd want to try and make sure you can maneuver so that you encounter Petrish before you encounter golems.
So here's what I'd like to do. Reggie, I'm sure, can handle his own right now. So what I think Henri is going to do is try and scope out one of these alleyways in a sneaky way, like a sneaky investigation. I don't know exactly what that, might be, but basically like trying to sneak through one of the alleyways to see if it's the best path to the Petrish or if it's going to be a path to danger, and, basically either find the right way or eliminate a way that's not the right way.
This is a wild roll combination because this would be agility plus investigation.
All right. Okay.
When do you ever get to roll agility plus investigation? That's awesome.
If I wanted to change the narrative,
you can narrate something else for me. Yeah.
So instead of it being agility, I'm wondering if Henri could use his like crime abilities for sneaking, or like basically the fact that he is already kind of like a sneaky thief kind of character.
You could use crime instead of investigation. It would still be agility.
Okay, cool. So the fact that it's like more of a using his like, I don't know, his crime sense doesn't actually change it away from it being an agility roll.
Well, the way you're narrated it, you're trying to dodge in real quick, do a quick scout, and dodge out again, using mostly stealth. So it's not really about your smarts, it's about can you get enough information without accruing aggro from something else before you get out again.
Cool. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I see why it's agility then. All right. I'll go ahead and roll.
Ooh. Well, the good news is you didn't roll low enough to be attacked by an additional participant to the battle. But you do find that there are golems to the left of you, golems to the right, and here you are stuck in the middle with these golems.
Henri just looks at Reggie and shrugs.
And Reggie shrugs back.
Reggie, do you want to brace yourself to receive a hit, hold an action? Do you want to get involved? It looks like the ones in the north at least have people they're engaged with. There's the one flying up from the south that's about to pick a target.
I'm going to make a concentrated effort to not look very tasty and just kind of...
Cool. Do you want to try and stealth? Just hide yourself?
I can try.
Go for it.
All right, I'll look for an interesting place to stealth and go for it. Yeah.
The best you can figure out is to just go in through the hole that the golem left in the wall when it attacked Nest. Which would put you inside a warehouse and not on the street. So, it's kind of like hiding. Okay, this one coming up, Reggie's out of the running as attack options. You know what, though? It sees Bax sliding down the ladder, and it is going to go after Bax.
I'm back, by the way. Sorry.
Welcome back. The flying potions cabinet is heading at you because you're coming down the ladder. You're somewhat more elevated than the rest, so it has an easier time seeing and distinguishing you.
Cool. Love that for me.
It has done a point of damage. That point does splash some acid from one of the potions onto you for an additional point. You can put those points anywhere. They're not together as one piece of damage. They're just a consequence, not a condition.
I can't do anything with my shield?
You absolutely can.
Oh, cool.
I
don't have any points in armor, but...
Yeah. It's effectively 2 points of damage, but they are separate points. They don't have to all go to the same place.
If I just wanted to put it... So what would I put it in, then?
You could tax your shield if you want to. Does your shield have special properties?
It's the ATG utility shield.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can tax it if you want to. You don't necessarily have to. You could also use your avoid or notice or resist.
I don't have a lot. Can I split them? Or
Totally.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Which means it is now your turn.
I'm going to retaliate.
Awesome. I'm presuming you're going to use that epic sword.
Yes, I am.
Where did you put those tags? Just asking.
Under my items, I have my ATG utility shield. I put a tax thingy on there. And I took a tax to my resist.
Oh, okay. So it does splash onto you, like, physically, but you're just so tough that it doesn't matter.
And shake it off. I have a question in regards to my heroics potential.
Sure.
When can I use that?
Broadly speaking, when you are being heroic, and this would definitely count.
All right, I'm gonna take advantage of that.
There are special things where you could use that in conjunction with Leica. They're both your characters, so... Oh!
My fucking god.
Uther's decided that it likes you now. Okay,
That's incredible. That's 10 successes, y'all.
that's 10 successes. The first 2 are nullified by its resistance. The next 6... No, I'm sorry, 5. It had taken a point of damage. The next 5 kill it. And there's 3 points of overkill. What does this look like? This thing is basically a cabinet with wings that's trying to splash acid on you. What does it look like that you do to this thing with your sword?
I'm gonna say something really cheesy, because Bax is not very smart, and they're just gonna say, "No one messes with my friends," and then they're just gonna basically fully charge with the sword and just rupture the thing from bottom to top, bits of cabinet and wings splitting off, splintering away. Just absolutely, you know.
Yeah, you leap off the ladder and just cleave it and land in a pile of debris. It is no more. Spectacular. Okay, well, we can just mark that off the sheet. Which brings us to Khalil. The aerial threat is annihilated. There's the 2 that are to the north. None of your friends are very injured yet.
Yeah, I'm bleeding.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Crystalzar is bleeding. That's right. It probably needs some help because Crystalzar's turn is coming up soon. Oh, actually, no, it's Creature C. Oh, yeah. There's, like, a few turns before it.
I'm bleeding. I can bleed for a bit. It's fine if I need to bleed.
So yeah, Kylo's just gonna like hold his symbol, and he's like, you better watch where you're walking there. You know, like you think you're walking on solid ground there, but you know actually you're walking on quicksand right there. You're gonna bleed, and basically he's trying. Because so that's a lie that they're a lie of them being on stable ground and them actually standing in something they're going to sink into and stick into.
Okay, so are you improvising a spell?
Yes.
Okay. Looks like they're leaving you to bleed, Crystalzar. Quicksand spell, eh? This is basically entangle. So I'm going to say first circle. That seems about reasonable. Which of the 2 are you doing this to? The one with railroad spike claws or the one with a railroad track piece as its arm?
How far are they away from each other?
They're actually pretty close. One of them is the one with the claws is attacking Chrysosar, and the one with the railroad track for an arm is attacking Nest.
Is it possible to like make a stingray increase the circle size so I can catch them both?
If you raise it to a second circle, I'll allow that.
All right. See if my brother Jonathan costume will thing because. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, my whoops.
Okay, I'm looking at your character sheet. I do not see esoteric improvisation here.
Oh, I don't have he doesn't have improvisation at all.
Okay. So you are making this with disadvantage, basically.
Yeah.
So you're just rolling your
My-
divine. Just
My potential.
bare divine, unmodified. Oh, but the dice favor you. Also, that's a lot of pips. Cool.
Yeah, from Amulet.
Yep. Cool. All right. You create a swirl of quicksand that the two golems sort of sink into.
And I sort of start just moving forward and be like, quick, let's see if we can.
So you guys can ignore these golems with that move if you wish. You can just move past them. They will not be defeated and may come up and flank you. So you might have a little bit of a time limit to convince the Petrish to join you.
We also have Reggie, who's pretty good at
just move fast. That the whole point of this is not to fight.
Correct. Although the Steam team did an excellent job of messing those up, and Bax right now just ended one in a single stroke. That's correct. Fighting is not required here. What's required is getting past them. Fighting is one way to get past them. This is another. As just an aside, Kyleel, you notice something. Because part of your magic is convincing people things, lying to people, that sort of thing. With inanimate golems, you're mostly just convincing yourself, right? You just need to convince yourself to trigger it, because they're inanimate things. But something about when you cast a spell, these didn't feel inanimate. It felt like they were hearing your lie. Like there might actually be a mind behind them.
It's like they're being fueled by some kind of soul.
Some kind of what?
Like they're being fueled by a soul?
It felt like that, yeah.
I guess that's where all the souls might be disappearing to.
That is a reasonable evaluation of that information, yes. All right, is everybody just running past these guys? Or did anyone want to take pop shots on them on your way past?
I don't have anything to pot shot with, so...
Cool. So, all right, you guys run north, where you encounter a line of Petrish. They are finishing off a couple golems as you arrive, and they look at you, weapons raised, ready to fight you as well. Behind you, you do hear the sound of the golems climbing their way out of the quicksand. So time is of the essence.
What was it 5 that I was keep forgetting your mage's name or human wizard's name.
Delterra?
Yeah, she had mentioned about like one of them. She said mentioned five. If five was here, that he might be able to use that to his advantage.
She mentioned that she had gone on an adventure with one of them called Five. Yes.
What if you five? We one of our allies is Delterra.
You're addressing the golems that are getting ready to attack you? The not the golem, the Petrish. The Petrish that are getting ready to attack you?
Yeah, the Petrish. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the others to get up and like get ready to talk.
Yeah, everybody's here. Any of you can try talking to them. These are not intelligent Petrish. These are soldiers.
Ah.
Well, this is why we got rid.
Viv always cuts off in cool ways.
Where did I cut off?
This is.
This is why we. This is why we have.
This is why we got Reggie here. It's what I've said. Albeit, if these aren't intelligent Petrus, Ness will just shout, "Allies, not foe, allies!"
Would Reggie know how to convince one of the non-intelligent Petrish that they're not a threat?
I mean, I guess I could try propriety.
That's a good thing. Behaving in the proper way, such that the Petrish would recognize it as a friendly action. Yeah.
I can just behave submissively.
Go for it.
Is that a cunning thing or an empathy or I don't know?
These are machines. I'm gonna say cunning, probably.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. What does it look? What does your submissive behavior look like? Or would you like me to suggest something?
I lie down on my back and show my belly. No, I don't know. I hold my hands to the side. I kind of T-pose and just kind of like crouch, kind of like bow-ish low. I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to suggest that Reggie might have figured out with that kind of a role that facing them may be what's viewed as aggressive. Facing any direction other than directly at them would indicate that you don't consider them a target.
Okay, I mean, I'm looking away from them for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're looking somewhere else, not directly at them, and just taking a T-pose, then they're going to treat you as a unit at rest in a non-combat environment, and so they stand down their weapons. And you can probably relay to your team to behave in this way.
I just say don't look at them, and just kind of don't move suddenly.
My plan was to turn around and face the ones that we ran away from.
Yeah, that also would work, 100%. Because that means you're reinforcing their line for them, which means your ally. Very good. Well, do you guys all want to move past this line and basically just walking backwards and enter into the Petrish camp?
Sure.
Okay. The Petrish form up behind you, and as those golems arrive, they engage with the golems and begin fighting. You're now in an actual train station that has been rebuilt since the bombings years ago. Yeah, the new tracks have been laid, and in the middle of the station, there is a train. Some non-soldier Petrish are milling about, and soldiers are moving in groups going towards different places to defend the entrances to the train station. Where are you headed? You can head to the train itself. You can just, like, look through into the buildings for offices and stuff.
We're trying to find allies, right?
Yes.
Trying to find the intelligent Petrish.
Right.
And it sounds like we haven't seen any yet.
How many people have comms?
In this group, Chrysalisar, Nest, and yeah, Chrysalisar and Nest. So 2. You have 2 people that have the ability to use magic to communicate at long distances.
So we don't necessarily have to do this, but I was asking that because maybe we could split up and start looking and then make sure we have, like, so since we have 2 people with comms, 2 groups, make sure Chrysalisar and Nest are in each of those groups, and then we can let each other know if we encounter a problem or find the Petrish we're looking for.
Don't imagine we're going to get so far from each other here that we would need it.
Yeah, probably not. It's mostly a question of where are you going first. First impressions can make a big difference. You're looking to find the guy who's in charge. What's the first place you go to look?
Can I see the direction like that the soldier bots are kind of deployed out of?
Yes, soldier bots are deployed based on easiest access entrances. So they're deployed to stop golems at these choke points to get.
But is there like a movement of these bots that we can see? Like, is there a clear movement where like more are coming out of, having been given like new orders and stuff?
Okay, yeah, make an investigation plus empathy. Tice, I don't think your character knows the answer to that question yet. There does seem to be some organization to them, but it's almost like they're communicating not person to person. So you are unable to find a central repository from which information is flowing out of to command them. Rather,
I was more looking for actual movement than information.
Yeah, so their physical movement as they redeploy from positions that are not being attacked as fiercely to positions that are appears to be spontaneous. It does not appear to, from your 2 successes, have a pattern that would reveal the location of a controller.
Okay. Then I guess we should go in through one of the entrances and just keep our heads bowed. As if we were just redeploying units.
Cool. On the platform next to the train, there are entrances to offices and a waiting room, and also a little shop that sells snacks, which is currently not operational. It will sell snacks when they get the train running again, but at the moment it is an empty space where a dealer could move in to try to sell to workers on the train yard. This particular train yard is not configured for passenger trains. It is configured for loading and unloading shipments. There are large cranes above the train that could potentially be used to lift large, heavy things off of them.
Do we just want to like peek at windows and stuff and look for intelligent Petri?
I mean, I don't think we have any other plans exactly. I mean, can we observe their behavior from somewhere in peace where we don't
Yeah.
trigger
You
them?
can, if you want to just look in the windows, you can do that too. So from what you can see, while most of the activity going on the outer perimeter of this place is military, protecting them from the golems, you do see sort of an inner ring of non-combat Petrish automatons still, not the intelligent kinds, but they're doing repairs on the military ones. And they seem to have a lot of downtime. These military Petrish are very effective at what they do, and the golems do not seem to be damaging them faster than the repair guys can repair them. So at least that seems stable. There's also a couple repair ones working on the train. And then looking in the windows of the office, you see that there is another military one guarding the door to the office, and two non-combat ones working on some kind of device that's inside the office. It is getting late, so we'll probably make this the last scene of this session.
Are we going in initiative order, or is this fair game?
This is fair game. They're not hostile to you right now. Reggie taught you guys how to look away from them so that they don't view you as something targeting them for attacks. So
They're guarding a door?
There is a military one guarding the door to the office, but it's guarding it from inside the office, not outside.
Can we see in the office?
Through the window, yes.
What's in the office?
Two non-combat ones are in the office working on some kind of device.
Oh, okay. Those are the same guys. Okay. Okay. Maybe Henri will walk into the... Just like kind of basically walk in to go talk to the non-combat ones that are working on the device.
All right. Upon opening the door, the combat one immediately gets in your way and stops you. It doesn't say why it's stopping you. There's no communication from it. It puts itself in between them and you.
How big is this thing? Can Henri duck underneath its legs?
What species is Henri? Dwarf?
Yep.
Yeah, you could duck underneath its legs. It's huge.
So Henri will kind of duck down and just try to go through his legs into the room.
All right. Inside the room, the two non-combat ones are working on something that is sparking with electricity.
Yeah, so he'll engage in conversation with them. So he's basically just going to ask them, hey, we're here on an important mission. We're looking for who's in charge.
They reply with a series of clicks. Is Henri a polyglot?
probably not. He's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily studious.
Polyglot is it's a talent, so
Oh, yeah. Okay. He definitely doesn't have that talent.
it doesn't speak Petrish. You have no idea what they're saying.
Is there any way... I'm just wondering if I could try using something like Anui's gaze on them, but...
You could use Anui's gaze on the courtyard, or the train yard, to just look around and see what you can see.
Oh, yeah. That sees through things. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Good point.
And
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. It sees the truth of things. It's... Yeah.
Yeah, I'll kind of do that to do like a 360 scan, kind of, but we'll see what my roll looks like.
Oh, yeah,
He realizes...
You have to succeed at the spell. That's the second circle.
It's a talent that I have? Or...
Oh, never mind. If you took it liturgically, then you just have to pay the tax.
Cool, okay.
All right, so
And it's second circle, so 2.
2 tax, which by default would go to your magic stat there, but if you have other things that you can do...
I'll put
things.
it on my focus.
Ah, you have a focus. Cool. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, so you scan, and basically the all of the Petrish in your scan are automatons. They're running a program. They're not intelligent, except for one, and that one is the train.
All right, then. Well, I will crawl back through the legs of that guy and go back out to rejoin the group and let them know, hey, I think the one we're looking for is the train.
All right, I guess we'll walk up. Hello, Mr. Train.
Are you addressing the train from the front of the train on the tracks, or do you want to go inside the train?
Well, at first, Kylie was going to stand in front of the train to address it. Know where everyone else wants to go.
The train is unresponsive for you standing in front. But anyone who enters the train, you can speak with the conductor, which is quite an odd sight. The train doesn't need a person to operate any kind of gears or levers or turn any wheels. The train operates itself. What there is at the front of the train a little silvery box. Yeah, the box seems to regard you with intelligence. The box clearly has a lid it can open. There's something inside it, but the box itself seems to be able to see you. Who is speaking to the box?
And Reggie can give it a go.
Yeah.
Hello, train person.
Hello, it says, although its voice sounds a little, raspy, pained. You don't know if that's normal for Petrish, but it wouldn't be normal for anything else. And it says, you may address me as Pix Apples.
Reggie says, hello, great Pix Apples.
Hello, by what may I address you?
I am Reggie.
Hello, Reggie. As you have gotten past my guards, I take it you are not here to attack me.
We're not hostile, but there's a lot of hostile things that are being hostile to everything in the general area. We were hoping that maybe you could help with that.
We have noticed the hostility. It comes from all sides. Even now, I am being torn apart from within by magical energies we do not understand.
Reggie shrugs and says, I don't understand magical energies either. We're young people. So we're not exactly soldiers. We're still growing, he says.
I have been trained that the humans and other species of Celebre do not form as automaton, but form as sentient from birth.
Reggie shrugs and says, sometimes. I mean, it takes some people a while.
Says, I had thought that I being sentient was why I was attacked by this magic and my automatons not, but you seem to be safe from it.
Reggie
Nest
says,
will interject with,
Yeah.
it's a long story.
Reggie says, yeah, I've got a bracelet. And he holds it up.
Petra says, I do not understand the nature of this bracelet, but I believe you that you have that bracelet.
Reggie says, I don't understand the nature of it either, but it makes me not susceptible to what's happening to everyone else.
The train says, I would like a bracelet too.
Nest will say, as the person who understands magic here, it's not quite possible currently, at least with our knowledge, to get you a bracelet. However, we do know how to reverse the spell, but we might need some help. The entire city is susceptible to the spell, except us kids here.
The first step to
as well.
reversing is to understand it. Do you have an understanding of the spell?
Yes. And Nest will
Okay, what is Nest explaining? Details might matter here.
Alright. So Nest will explain that they'll look and say there are 4 pillars and of power that are being used to cast the spell from a bunker, essentially. And we need to shut down 3 so that one of Celebre's most powerful mages, Doterra, can get into that bunker and hack into and reverse the spell. But everybody is trapped within a small shield, except us kids who have these bracelets that may have been given to us by the person who is casting this spell. We're not sure about that. Well, we are sure who gave them to us. We're not sure about that second.
Is the spell independent of the city's defenses attacking us?
That I'm not sure Nest understands the question. I understand the question.
The spell is using parts of people's souls to make them, and whoever is using the spell is attacking the city and everyone, including you.
Seeking these pillars may be more difficult and more complicated than simply killing all of the people whose souls are being used to power the defensive army. I perceive a mathematical superiority to simply entering the buildings of all the sleeping humans and killing them. You might want to start making persuasion rolls.
Yeah. This is all Reggie.
I mean, the magic is powered by souls. If you go killing all the humans, it's just going to make it stronger.
Put some dice down. Let's see how convincing you are.
Not very.
Ouch! Uther's back and forth tonight. So it says, my understanding of power sources is when you remove them, they cease to give power.
That's what I checked with. Those people are the same people that are very similar to the people standing in front of you right now. We are coming to you as allies, and we are requesting your support to help Celebre not have all these people die. Killing them would not be in line with our goals either.
It's an excellent point. Go ahead and roll your persuasion. Let's see how well it's received.
All right.
And this is persuasion plus empathy, not cunning, because this is an actual thinking, feeling, emotional being.
Holy shit.
Oh wait, I actually put a capital in, so it didn't count my pips. I should have had one success.
Okay. At least there's the one success. The armies are not marching yet. This is, we had hoped to have a trade partner, but, I mean, we can't have an army of golems rampaging us every time we travel this way. This seems like an equitable solution. You will inherit the city. It will be yours when we're done.
Reggie considers this.
There is something you may not have considered. This is me talking as the DM. Do you remember what Delterra said about how the spell works? Why you only bring down 3 pillars and not 4?
Mention that they can reverse it by weakening it.
Yeah, she said that if you end it, then the souls won't come back. But if she can reverse it, then everyone gets their souls back. And this creature is apparently being damaged by the spell, so that exists as a bargaining chip if you want to make another attempt at this.
Yeah. If we do wipe out everyone in the city, then you would not get parts of you back again, and this would look, and you would never be whole again. But if you help us get the pillars back, 3 of the pillars down, then Delterra can reverse the spell and get you whole again. This also would provide a good opportunity for you to be showing support to Celebre and get better goods for your trade.
Go ahead and roll persuasion. You've made some fair points, but I think I need to consider this more closely. I think some of the other characters need to step in and put in their 2 cents here. We've gotten 3 successes so far.
I think Henri wants to try and take kind of like a bullish approach, like kind of a little bit more threatening-ish. But basically he's going to say like, hey, like, I'm sure you like existing, whatever existing is for a train. But this thing is going to end you, and we're trying to stop it. So if you just cooperate with us, then you get to exist. And isn't existing kind of nice?
All right. That's a good approach. I'm going to say that is not an empathetic approach. You can use either focus or cunning on that one.
And is that persuasion?
Still persuasion, yeah.
Does my Moon King costume intimidate the Petrish?
I think it does. Not for the reasons you might think. They're not afraid of it. They're aware of a trade that happened a long time ago.
Excellent. And then I guess, would this be considered a negotiation?
Yes.
Wonderful. So I have a negotiation mastery, and a gift for negotiation. So I think that gives me a threshold bonus and a pips bonus.
Correct.
Cool.
And if this doesn't get some points on the board, we're going to Bax.
Bax just starts punching the train.
I can totally flex.
All right. For threshold, I can just throw a T whatever anywhere. I mean, after the pips, I guess.
Yeah. Before or after the pips, I'm not sure that it matters. There you go. Didn't even need the pips. Wait. How are those all successes?
Did I do that right? That doesn't seem right.
Oh, you put threshold 1.
Threshold 1. So everything counts as a success. Okay. Your actual threshold was 5.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess we can calculate it based off that.
Yeah, so that's two successes, and then how many? Is it 6 pips?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 5 successes.
So, 5 successes. Yeah, okay. Okay, good. You finally have his attention. It's like, oh yes, it's true. I do not wish to be destroyed. Very well. What does this other method involve? You've turned off the murderous rampage mode. Good job. So it wants to know, like, what do I need to do in order to assist you?
There should be a device in this area that is attuned to lightning that needs to be taken care of.
This is true. There is a device that has tampered with our long-distance communication system. We built a electrical system to send signals along the rail from here to our mining operation at the other end of the rail line. And somebody has attached a device that we have not figured out how to remove. We could just turn off the power, as I suggested doing to your humans. That would cease it, but then we would also lose communication with our home. They would be able to send messages that I could feel in the tracks, but I would not be able to reply without this device here.
Would you be able to turn it back on after the spell is undone?
I believe so. I would prefer not to be out of communication for any period of time, but how long will it take you to undo the spell once I turn this off?
We have 2 other parties doing the same thing to 2 other pillars right now.
I think this would actually be a very reasonable time for Ness to whisper the other two parties and ask how they are coming along as we flash to them.
All right. So we'll pick up next week and find out how the Radiance team is doing with their initial adventure, and then we'll find out that the Steam team has some work to do. And so this is where we're going to stop for this evening. And any final thoughts before we go?
I'm good. I'm excited. Things are going well.
I was really
I split a
hoping.
golem in half. It's going well.
I was really hoping for chaos reasons that Bax would be the one left.
I'm so fucking glad it wasn't me.
Sorry, Internet again. I say I was really hopeful that Bax would get to have that role to convince everyone not to murder us.
I was really not looking forward to that personally.
Yeah.
The life of the city is in Bax's hand.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I can
Yeah.
beat stuff up, but that's a little heavy. It's a little heavy for me.
I also really am curious about the train's name and how it got it.
Pix Apples was a lumber automaton that malfunctioned and instead of harvesting wood, harvested apples. But it turned out their trading partner valued the apples more highly than the lumber. And so because it came back with more trade value than initially anticipated, it was promoted to sentience. Which is why they trusted it with yet another diplomatic mission. To go to Celebrate to negotiate trade of ore for whatever it can find, really. Whatever it can bring back that's of value. Yeah, that's the story of Pix Apples. Anyway, I need to get some sleep, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Have a wonderful night, and next week we shall continue. There's, one more initial golem fights on the way, but that one is going to be like all golem fights. So that should be exciting, and that's the one where you've got Galista in the party.
Yeah, and a mage on their back.
Yeah. I mean, you guys saw how, like, Bax was able to just one-shot that one, right? Like, yeah, when you guys switch over to the actual pure combat party, this should be very interesting.
Yeah, for this being like our non-combat parties, I feel like we did pretty good.
Yeah. And you sprinkled some combat into all the parties, which was a good move. Because, like, if Bax had not been in this party, then somebody potentially would have taken a lot of damage during that fight. It's like you can't trap a flying creature in quicksand, right? But yeah, no, that worked out really well. Uther's back and forth on the dice rolls. That was wild. All right, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.
Right?